So looking at the numbers there, the odds are with Erslan, but 182 centimeters plays 190 centimeters in height. So as we've said, Chuzhigaev, slightly small for this weight division, but he is an absolute beast. That said, so is Ivan Erslan. Thomas Bronder, our referee for this. I have to say, how do we think this is going to go, guys?
Not 5 rounds.
Say again?
Not 5 rounds.
Oh, right, okay. Well, yeah, that's the answer. So for the light heavyweight championship belt, KSW light heavyweight title, 5 5-minute rounds under KSW MMA rules. Buckle up, funsters, because as we say, we don't think this is going to go the way. Just look at the undercarriage of Ivan Erslan, those thighs. And I mean, Chuzhigaev is a solid character, but just look at the thighs on Erslan. I mean, they sort of out of complete balance with the rest of his body. But anyway, settle down, because in the golden gloves, fighting red, Ibragim Chuzhigaev, and fighting blue, Ivan Erslan. And very respectful, both players here.
Both guys good strikers, very different strikers. You see a much more orthodox boxing attack from Erslan. And Chuzhigaev just has that Soviet-style boxing, totally different footwork and the head movement. Very interesting to see if somebody finds advantages early or whether this thing becomes a firefight into the later rounds.
He does this thing where he drops the guard every third movement. He bounces, drops the guard, bounces, drops the guard. It's almost peekaboo, but what it does is, it doesn't give the opponent time to lock in on the target, and it's great footwork. Just look at him, he's enjoying himself here, Chuzhigaev. Look at the footwork, up on his toes, it's like he's skipping. Great boxing skills.
And that's the thing, Erslan said there's openings here. We worked on this. He's been part of a number of big fight camps recently. In other promotions, Ante Dalia, Alexander Rakic. So they've worked extensively on, they think, holes in Chuzhigaev's game.
Well, I said at the beginning that Ivan Erslan has displayed a sort of one-dimensional approach to this. You know, he doesn't need anything else, really. The power, the speed, the aggressiveness is there. But to outbox Chuzhigaev, I think is going to be a task here tonight. He's definitely got the confidence and got great skills. And again, he looks like the man least likely to. I mean, you look at Chuzhigaev and he looks like a bloke, you know, in a bar. And then you look at Ivan Erslan and he looks like an assassin, you know, but Chuzhigaev completely took apart Tomasz Narkun, and that surprised me. I mean, I'm a big Narkun fan, but Chuzhigaev beat him, and there's the surprise. There's the knock on the front door, but the delivery through the back door.
Yeah,
big
one of the
overhand
tools,
right.
Exactly, it'll be one of the tools he uses to take away the jab. The overhand right and potentially the low kick. There we go again.
Well, look at this. He's hitting the target, and life is becoming uncomfortable for Ivan Erslan.
A lot of patience here, much more patience compared to the Narkun fight from Chuzhigaev. But I think that's the kind of respect.
And a lot more patience from Erslan as well, right? Hasn't thrown with his right hand once yet. It's all been just jabs down the middle.
And he looks like he can do this all day long. I mean, we could be here till Christmas Day, couldn't we? I mean, Chuzhigaev, he's just bouncing around, moving, and it's like he's skipping in the gym. And Erslan hasn't just managed to get those crosshairs to lock on, and you can see he wants to unload. Ivan Erslan wants to bring some heat and power to the shots, but he can't because look at the movement. It's just unbelievable. Chuzhigaev is just not standing stationary for a millisecond.
But the thing is, with these guys and their strengths and the kind of power at this weight class in a world championship fight, sometimes it's a game of poker in the first round or so.
Nice move from Chuzhigaev, left, right, low kick, switches it up. I think he's got the fight intelligence to make this a very difficult night for Erslan. And I mean, you know, Chuzhigaev against Narkun went the distance, but he took him apart in a way that I've never seen Narkun. The only time I saw Narkun really that badly in trouble was when he went up the weight and went against the heavyweight champ, you know. Erslan starting to get that jab to work, and Erslan backing off here in a way I've never seen the Croatian do.
It's hard to pick up the timing of someone who's bouncing so much. He's kind of all over the place, right? So he's just taking his time, he's being patient. He's waiting for that. He's waiting for that timing that he's going to find. He's just counting the steps. He's trying to figure out the hand positioning, and he's going to find it. He's going to unload.
Yeah, it's like a sort of a rhythm that can't be counted, isn't it? It's like a boom, 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 boom. It's just, you can't work out what Chuzhigaev's going to do. Oh, look at that! Comes in behind that double knee strike and throws the big right overhand right against a taller opponent. I mean, you know, that's dessert, isn't it? All day long. Well, there's the end of the first round. 10-second clapper. Chuzhigaev. 5 rounds he's going to need to be doing this, because if he stops for 1 second, Ivan Erslan is going to nail him.
And things like that. He's in his own. He's in his zone right now. Let him figure it out. Hopefully things will get a little better for him in the second round.
2 of a scheduled championship 5 rounds in this one of our co-main events here tonight, and that is the light heavyweight championship strap on the line, being defended by current champion Ibragim Chuzhigaev. Now, in the second round, are we going to see Ivan Erslan start to step up here and bring some pressure?
We already have.
Yep.
Those first 10 seconds were fireworks.
Can it be sustained?
The problem was he overextended on that right hand and nearly ate a big one from Chuzhigaev.
Exactly. So, you know, that's always a dissuader for bringing the heat. But trying to close the ring down. And I have to say, Ivan Erslan has got a tight guard. I mean, it's as tight as 2 coats of paint. And then rocked by that left hand. Chuzhigaev can hit. Left-right combination. Starting to land, spinning back fist. Slipsy, tricksy. And I have to say, Chuzhigaev is just a little bag of tricks. He's just ruthless in the creativity. Starts to put pressure. He's hurt Ivan Erslan. Erslan doesn't have an answer for this.
Absolutely, and even the 3-2 he threw before that, he kind of pulled, right? He's closing distance, and then the 3rd or 4th punch is a really powerful one.
It's that awkwardness from Chuzhigaev. It's completely messing him up. See, those little things. Oh, there it is.
Oh! Well, look at that. He went down low with that little slap to the leg to make out he was going for a shoot, but he's bringing pressure now. Ivan Erslan under incredible pressure. Lands a big shot. I don't know if he's recovered from that.
That left hook definitely connected. You could hear Erslan just bite down on his mouthpiece and grunt there to try to stay in this fight, but this is problematic.
Look at this, goes for the takedown. Already so low. I mean, he had no chance of getting that. No, the leverage wasn't there. But Chuzhigaev, it's just an absolutely insane onslaught of everything, isn't it?
It was smart. It was smart to go to the takedown. Chuzhigaev does have good wrestling, but so too does Ivan Erslan. I mean, you have to think of the guys he's training with. We don't see it necessarily in a lot of his fights because he chooses to box. I'd love to see these guys wrestle. Jeez, some heavy leather there from Chuzhigaev.
Yeah, you don't want to be behind that. Listen. Well, the devil came down to Glavice. He was looking for a soul to steal. And I have to say, that is Chuzhigaev in one, isn't it? I mean, it's like wrestling Satan in there. He's just a bad man.
You're almost in kind of disbelief, if you will, of the type of power he can create with those whipping punches, but is his totally different style of boxing compared to Erslan.
Yeah. And Erslan is a good classic kickboxing boxer. And I mean, it's not that Ivan Erslan is doing anything wrong. It's just Chuzhigaev is a will-o'-the-wisp. And, you know, dangerous.
It's that Dominic Cruz kind of style of movement, you know, where you're kind of all over the place, different angles. And it's so hard for an opponent to pick up. And then with his hands all over the place too, right? He's not holding his hands down by his chin all the time. He's kind of all over the place. Those strikes are coming from different angles. So hard to pick up. If you never trained with anybody like that, it's going to be a really, really tough fight.
That shot whistled by. Oh, there's a big straight left, and Erslan goes down. Can he finish this Chuzhigaev on the ground? That was insane. A power piston of a punch there with the left hand. He did it before, you know, when he rocked Ivan Erslan. But Erslan just hasn't got the answer. He says he's all right. But now Chuzhigaev, this is where the dirty fighting comes. Big thundering knee strikes into the glute muscle, and he ragdolls Ivan Erslan down to the ground.
He dropped him with the jab. He popped him straight down the middle.
Speed kills.
Yep.
I mean, so fast. And,
Yep.
he generates so much power because he's so loose. His shoulders and hips are just so loose, so it's coming from all over the place. Whereas with Erslan, you can see everything's really tight. You can see the shoulders. You can see all those muscles, and the shoulders are so tight and tense.
Well, it's back to the upright, but this is a rough ride for Ivan Erslan. Unless he comes up with a strategy, you know, he's got another 3 rounds of this. And Chuzhigaev, as I say, he just looks like he's skipping in the gym. And I mean, you know, which way is he going? He's everywhere. It's a great, great show of dominance. And he navigated that well, I can tell you that now. Erslan can normally nail you with one of those. So ghosting, feinting, dropping the guard now. There's the confidence. He wants to draw Ivan Erslan in. He knows that he can hurt him. And this is very much coming to my parlor, said the spider to the fly. I have to say, I spoke to Ivan Erslan last night, and he said he was in great shape and he was really up for this.
And it comes, and he chipped him, dropped him there. It's incredible.
That's why he's hard to predict. So we go to 3, and you know, hopefully the corner have given Ivan Erslan a game plan to work to. Chuzhigaev goes straight back to that tight boxing stance with the movement. And just look at it.
See that tentativeness from Erslan right there? He would have thrown a right hand before. Every single time he would have thrown a right hand, but he didn't throw it this time.
Yeah, the confidence, may have returned. Through a combination there. For the first time, he's let something go here that's been meaningful. But not enough to do anything that's going to upset Chuzhigaev.
Sometimes when you go over to a different camp and you spend, 6 to 8 weeks there, it's a short period of time, but they start changing things the way you used to fight, and it's not a good thing. It doesn't work out that way because you only had 6 to 8 weeks to prepare, 6 to 8 weeks with that team, and now everything's kind of changed, so you're not sure what to do now.
Listen, this is a championship belt on the line here. Ivan Erslan needs to dig deep and come up with a strategy. And look at this now, he's come back a different person using the aggression. And Chuzhigaev has still managed to weather the storm, but this is a different Erslan. And he's not switched up anything too much, but they're there to slug it out. Big right hand, he hits Chuzhigaev. Chuzhigaev now starting to feel the power of the Croatian. This is the Erslan that we know. Mouth guard out, referee intervenes. Straight back to the action, and Chuzhigaev brings it.
He's beaten Erslan on a couple of exchanges here, but for about 20 seconds, Erslan was beating him to the punch. That was the difference. A lot more lead into the dance. And it's tricky because Chuzhigaev breeds so much uncertainty with all of his movements. You just don't know when to commit. But really nice work from Erslan for about 15, 20 seconds there.
So day ain't over yet. What can Erslan bring to this? It's got to be aggression, and he's got to come forward. But he exposes himself when he does, and then how much of that can you do before you start running the tank down? You look at Chuzhigaev, and he could do this all day.
But Erslan's winning this round so far.
So we're in the 3rd of 5 in this championship matchup. And then now we're starting to see Chuzhigaev settle down, a little less bobbing and weaving, and a little bit more serious boxing after the frustration. Good combination, left, right there. But Ivan Erslan has the crosshairs and the target of Chuzhigaev just a little bit more to his advantage now.
It was a nice jab a moment ago from Chuzhigaev, especially when Erslan comes forward very linearly. Again, straightforward for Erslan, and the jab lands 3 times in a row for Chuzhigaev. That's good.
So it's real cat and mouse now. Erslan's recovered. And Erslan on his toes a bit more now, starting to use his footwork and starting to move and starting to cause problems for Chuzhigaev.
That's the thing, though. Erslan's got to be, because Chuzhigaev is such a rule breaker. He'll move into the power side, and he'll go weak side. He's always changing it up. The hands are down. Got to fight fire with fire sometimes.
Yeah, and they've settled down into a little bit of a slugfest here, but I don't know if Erslan has got the bandwidth in terms of creativity. I mean, Chuzhigaev slaps his leg and then comes back up, and Erslan recoiled back because he thought there was a shoot coming. I mean, he's a trickster, Chuzhigaev, a real trickster. Oh, spinning back fist, and that landed. How many times do you see that happen? Can he finish it off? Ivan Erslan has been hurt here. There's still under a minute left in this round. That was insane. Spinning back fist, and Erslan hasn't recovered. Can Chuzhigaev finish this? This is a testimony to Ivan Erslan's survival capacity. He was really hurt.
He's been hurt 3 times in this fight, 3 different rounds. Chuzhigaev, I think, is tired. Doesn't want to punch himself out, but he has a real opportunity to close the show here.
Absolutely. Picking the shots now, Chuzhigaev, and focus about him. But Ivan Erslan comes back, and a thumping right hand sends Chuzhigaev dancing back to the center of the ring. This is hell's a poppin' here. This is a real battle. And you can see why Thomas Narkun came under so much pressure. Chuzhigaev seems indomitable. But Ivan Erslan, you know, like Mount Rushmore, he just took that hit on the chin. He's got a jaw of rock.
He's tired, though. Chuzhigaev is so tired right now.
This, you got to think about Chuzhigaev. I've just been throwing everything I got like, but the kitchen sink at this man, and he's still standing. You know what I mean? That's got to play with your mind as well. So,
yeah.
Exciting round 4 right here is going to be really, really see who's going to come out on top right here.
Yeah. And the frightening thing is you look at Chuzhigaev, and he just looks like it's another day in the office. You know, he's a bit battle-worn, but not enough there to write home about. But the same for Ivan Erslan, and just the testimony to his ability to recover and come back is just incredible. And as I say, you know, you look at Chuzhigaev, and he just looks like a guy. And Ivan Erslan looks like an assassin. And, yeah, it's incredible what this man has been able to produce here.
Yes, never judge a book by a book cover, right? It's amazing. Especially nowadays with MMA being so popular, you have no idea who you're going to walk into or any place anytime.
Yeah, next time somebody spills your drink, just buy him another one. You know, because, yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, just be kind to everyone. Simple.
Exactly.
Again, the mouthpiece is 3rd time Erslan spat that out.
I'm not sure that was a spit out. I think it was more of like a...
No.
I just took a punch.
I know you mean, but it happened a couple of times in the previous round where it was like...
That was a slap out. Anyway, listen, back to business, and Ivan Erslan still one-dimensional, but Chuzhigaev now starting to blow, starting to take shots, and this is where the rubber hits the road. The survival. Chuzhigaev has thrown everything but the kitchen sink. Ivan Erslan has kept true to what he started out with in the first round. It's not paid dividends, but it might do now.
The thing is, Chuzhigaev was in a similar position against Tomasz Narkun, where Narkun was going to start to come back into the fight after 10-8 round or so, maybe even in the beginning of that fight. So I do have him up in this fight.
Well, I don't think Erslan has one round yet. Came close in that 3rd round. I wasn't forward that back-spinning fist and that drop. He's got to do something here, something a little different. He's got to show a different side of him. Go back to the well where you used to be, or show him something a little different as far as maybe throw a kick, or because everything is headhunting. You're just headhunting the whole entire time. That's all you're doing.
I agree.
And headhunting is not going to win you this fight against someone who's this technical and this good. I'm moving his head and covering up, see?
See, the law of averages dictates that one of those punches has got to connect, but they're not. Chuzhigaev is not there when Erslan throws.
And he rolls with the punches really, really well. He turns his head as he goes, so he takes 90% of that shot away. And then now he's back.
Top skills, top skills. Drops his guard, stalking his man, almost taunting Ivan Erslan. Throws from the hip. He's a real trickster. And then look at that throw to the body there. And then, yeah, that hurt. And Erslan dances out, but they're really connecting. He's got heavy hands, Chuzhigaev, and I know that's a much used expression in boxing, but when he lands with short punches, they're solid.
And on top of that, look at the distance he covers when he bounces backwards. I mean, he almost like he covers like 2-3 meters of space. So, oh, there's another one.
Oh, no.
Hurt him again, hurt him again. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Ooh. Erslan now starting to take too much pressure, and Chuzhigaev finds the target, landing the shots. Erslan just may not recover from this, and Chuzhigaev choosing the shots here, but look at that, a bit of a rope-a-dope. Ivan Erslan comes off the wire, turns his man and throws. Chuzhigaev needs to be careful he doesn't gas out, but he's just stalking him.
It's been an absolute slugfest here.
How is Erslan still standing? My goodness, from all these shots. Like, he can barely keep his hands up.
Chuzhigaev is just relentless. I mean, he's like volcanic lava in the sense that he's relentless in coming forward, but he's like a ghost to hit. And he's hurting Erslan every shot.
The crazy thing is, Chuzhigaev's head movement, he's so certain of it, and he can move super, super far and come back to the center line so quickly. It's been one of the biggest differentiators, I think, in damage in this fight. Yes, Erslan is connected, but there hasn't been meaningful, impactful connections, bar maybe in the last round.
Do you know what? They're up against the wire right in front of us here, and I can hear Chuzhigaev's brain whirring. It's whirring like a clockwork machine. He is working. He's working the last shots of this round, and he is very focused and intent on this. Erslan is wondering, and that's a different thought process. Yeah, this is not going to end well unless a rabbit from a hat is pulled for Ivan Erslan. And even if it goes the distance, I've got Chuzhigaev way ahead on points.
I agree. But you can see from what's happened that there was reason why we didn't think it'd go far.
I don't think he's a man that cruises rounds. There's few others earlier in this card that have cruised rounds and didn't work out well. He's not one of them, I guarantee you that.
Round 5, the 5th and final in this light heavyweight championship bout. The KSW light heavyweight strap on the line. We've had 4 championship bouts so far. Ibragim Chuzhigaev with the gold gloves and red finish takes on Ivan Erslan in the blue. And it's been attritional the whole way. And it begs the question, how are these two men still slugging it out in the KSW cage here in front of 15,000 people in a sellout arena in Gliwice?
Now, you know, in the middle of that round, Erslan's corner would have said to him, you need something drastically different. They cannot, for any good reason, think that the scorecards are in their favor at this point. Now, the question is, do we see kicks? Do we see the clinch? Something? Or is he just going to keep going for the home run for the next 4 odd minutes?
Well, the first 4 rounds kind of told us what's going to happen, but we'll see. Threw a nice uppercut there and landed it.
Yeah, it was
really,
a good,
really
solid
nice
connection, yep. I mean, you know, he's got power, Erslan. He's got resilience. He just can't land on Chuzhigaev. But, you know, there is an expression, you can only go to the well so many times. All it takes is one mistake, and Chuzhigaev could just eat a shot that could finish this. But he's too wily a customer. He really is a slippery, slippery deal. Just look at that.
Yeah, anyone with their hands down in the 5th round like that and still bobbing and weaving everything and basically making your opponent miss everything you throw, it's quite remarkable.
Yeah. I mean, this is top-level skills, and he makes it look so easy. He's starting to take shots now, but this might be just a little too late in the day for Ivan Erslan, and he so desperately needs this championship belt, and he's hurt Chuzhigaev with that left hook. That's the 2nd time I've seen that connect. Chuzhigaev dropping the guard, trying to coax Erslan in. They both know that they're capable of hurting each other, but yeah, there's the kick for the first time. I mean, you know, it's as if he left half the armory at home.
And whoever thought that Erslan would be, you know, in the 5th round, I haven't seen him this deep, and he still's got the power and still got the pop. It's just putting that timing together. Ah, there's another shot.
Starting to hurt Chuzhigaev now. Is it too late in the day? He needs a finish, needs the rabbit out of the hat. 2.5 minutes left. Is there the clock there? Just big power behind these shots.
But do you see how he rolls, how Chuzhigaev rolls with those punches? Like, it looks like it's hitting him, but it's barely hitting him, you know? It's just those last 5, 10, 15% maybe of that punch actually made contact.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. His style is such a unique style, and it works for him so well.
Yeah. And of course, when you don't make contact, it sucks the power out of you with a miss, you know, and so the tank is draining all the time. Props to Ivan Erslan, because he's just come back and given everything, and still could turn this around. 2 minutes left, 5th and final round.
Erslan is definitely really showing he took this fight very seriously. He has kept, I think, the conditioning that he had into this fight, having hit the 5th round for the first time in his career. that was important. And that shows how much it means, because very rarely do you get to challenge for a world title more than twice.
For sure. And this is going to be a really, really tough one for him if things don't, you know, if he doesn't pull anything, a rabbit out of his hat in the next 90 seconds. Just lose 2 times now for the title is going to be really, really tough. Especially, you know, when you've taken the time to learn from the mistakes you've made and gone to a different camp and try to get better and progress and learn from the best. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy to come back from this.
This is a unique style Chuzhigaev has brought to this, and Chuzhigaev has been tested here. He's taken shots, but that head movement, that's just a will-o'-the-wisp at work there. He just taunts, and then, you know, Erslan is no slouch. He just cannot get the crosshairs on.
Chuzhigaev, I think, has had so much more variation in the kind of the line of attack. He's always resetting and adjusting and swapping stances and switching things up. Hands wide, hands in tight. It's a lot more unpredictable, and I think a more complicated puzzle, because both these guys have, look, dug in and laid siege to each other on the feet for 25 minutes now.
Well, yeah, unpredictable is the word here. Just look at him walk. He jumps in the air, he skips, he jumps, he moves. It's just completely unpredictable. We've got 17 seconds, 16 seconds left. We're up on the 10-second clapper. I don't think Ivan Erslan is going to walk away with gold here. Chuzhigaev, I think, is going to retain the title, and in the last seconds of this bout, he's taken everything. A dangerous, dangerous fighter like Ivan Erslan has got, and that's the bell.
5 rounds, gentlemen, 5 rounds. And for anybody whistling out there, oh my goodness. You kind of wish you would, those people who whistle, kind of get them in the cage a little bit and give them a little test for their money a little bit to understand what fighters go through, actually.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That was intense. I mean,
that's really intense. I mean,
especially given the kind of power committed in every round across the round for both guys.
Absolutely. Minus the first round, I think all of us will agree that was kind of lackluster, but these last 4 were absolutely brutal from both sides.
Yep, I agree.
But Chuzhigaev ate some shots. Look at Erslan. I mean, any other opponent would have gone down from that. I mean, he's been tested here, but that's a supreme all-round fighter with a unique style.
Yeah.
No one tried to go to the ground. Chuzhigaev, just unpredictable. I mean, it's...
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by unanimous decision